Never again will we see this movie. How's the song go? Now, am I the only person that loved the song in the trailer?
I love the song.
No, I
trailer. I love the trailer.
The
I like
trailer
the songs
was
in
solid.
the movie.
Did we love the movie though? Did I give it away? Oh, I don't know. Was it as good? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I feel like we are overall off to not the hottest start though of 2022, but it is still earlier. Maybe that's just me.
There's been a couple of movies that come out.
Spider-Man?
It hasn't all been bad.
No, that was 2021. I watched this movie, The
Tyler,
Fallout.
don't
that
embarrass us.
Really
Oh, yeah.
We're supposed to know our shit.
I'm right.
Is he? No, he's not.
Oh.
Anyways, so what did we think about Death on the Nile, dude?
There's an opening scene in this movie. This movie has an opening scene.
Very true.
It
I was
belongs in
surprised by
deleted
it.
scenes.
Yeah.
The opening scene, and as beautiful as it is, because it's beautifully shot, the opening scene, it belongs in deleted scenes, because they never once go back to it until the very end of the movie.
Yeah, I was
and
waiting
it wasn't
for
even
that.
that good of a callback to the opening. You know?
That's
It was
why
just-
I like my quick knee jerk, which is what we do here. We do a lot of knee jerks. Reaction to this was like, he's got to be the killer or a part of the killer situation, because this has all got to come back too, because they showed us that for a reason.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something with that. Now, I eventually abandoned that, and I'm not going to say if he became the killer or not, because we're not in spoiler territory. But yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking after seeing the opening, because the opening does make you, it's like one of those openings, anything too special, but it does make you think like, okay, this will play a big part at some point. Or one of those things that'll go under a lot of people's radar. But if you just sit there, you're like, why did they show us that, though? Like, there's got to be something the more you think about it. And it didn't necessarily even really amount to much, so why does it have to be there? I agree with Rodney on that point. I know Tyler was definitely confused.
He was lost in the beginning.
I was laughing, like, inside, kind of, because I was like, dude, Tyler's, like, I just was like, I have a feeling Tyler's about to ask me, like, are we in the right movie?
Dude,
and literally a minute later, he's like, hey, Brent, are we in the right movie?
Yeah.
I was
and
like... Shit, it happened.
The beginning's shot in black and white, and
Yeah.
it's like, you know, a flashback, and I'm like, it went on for a good amount.
It was probably a solid 8 to 10 minute
yeah.
opening scene.
And the whole time, after like 4 minutes, I'm like, what is this? Are we in the right movie? Because I didn't recognize any of the characters. And I asked Brandon, are we in the right movie? And he leaned over and he was like, I think we're in. And he said another movie name. And I was like, is that even a movie? He was like, are they playing right now in theaters? Did we accidentally go in the wrong theater?
I'm going to do that one time now, though, because that's been brought up. I'm going to be like, yeah, we're going to see this, but really we're going to an A24 movie.
Like, haha, musical,
Yeah.
bitch.
I actually, for a second, I thought you did mess with the tickets.
Oh, I will
and
now.
you were like, I don't really want to see.
Just wait for it.
Don't do that.
You think you're
That's
going to
ruined.
see the Batman? Please.
Yeah. Dude, you can't. I'd be really dumb if I didn't figure that out pretty quick.
You're really going to see the moon's blossom.
Where the crawdads sing.
Yeah, dude. That's so funny because we were looking through like our top of the year when we were doing that list, and I ran across that movie title. And I was like, that's going to be in Rodney's top 10. And literally like a month later, he's like, I am really interested in that, actually.
It
I
didn't
watched the
make my
trailer.
top 10, but yes, I was... some information came out about it, and I was like, "Oh, this is intriguing."
Yeah, the crawdads are not CGI, so he's hyped.
Okay,
Yeah.
so characters-wise,
Well, let me say this real quick. The intro, I think we can say this. Basically, the intro ended up being for the movie like it almost felt like it was there for the sole purpose of just like showcasing this man's amazing mustache.
Yeah.
I won't
Yeah,
say what happened.
there
or
was a
what,
lot of
but
close-up
yeah.
shots of his mustache in this one. Like, I mean, and it's a dope.
Dude,
mustache.
it's all I could look at.
It's pretty slick. So,
Pretty
Whenever his
slick back,
face is on his
slicked
face,
up.
all I could look at is his
It was the
mustache.
best part of the movie for sure.
I don't even know what color his
Like,
eyes were.
I'm joking, but I might not be joking. Am I joking? I don't know. Yeah, what are you saying? Character-wise, what was up with that? Because I
First
didn't know
of
there
all,
were any.
I wasn't...
Ding.
There was no attachment to any character for me.
No.
None of the characters
I
I
didn't like
was
any
like,
of them.
okay, I can
Never
do without
again.
you. And we talked about this faintly before the movie, how we were both excited for Russell Brand, right?
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that was the
excited
big sell,
to see
dude.
how Russell Brand would do. But then I was also excited because I was like, okay, this is Gal Gadot as a lead. Can she carry a movie?
No.
Absolutely not. She is
Yeah.
awful in
Yeah,
this.
she's not very good.
And I mean, beautiful all day long, but she was terrible in this. And then Russell Brand was just, they didn't do. And, you know, he's a doctor in this
They
movie,
didn't utilize
but they didn't.
him
Yeah,
more.
I mean, they did, but then it wasn't anything meaningful.
It's
kept-
like
It was
right
just
when you thought like maybe you're getting some steam with them, they just rip it
Yes,
right from
yes.
under them. They gave him a chance to have a platform, but they didn't give him a chance to exceed above his platform.
Right.
Like, I don't even remember him in the movie until they showed him. I was like, oh, yeah, I
Wait a
forgot.
minute, who are we talking about again?
I
Was he in
forgot.
this?
Russell Brand was in this.
Yeah, no, he.
Now,
I didn't think
He's
about
shown just as much as everybody else because that was something I was worried about in the trailer. I was like, watch him not have like a bigger part and he's just more of the name. But the thing is like everybody is pretty well balanced, but
Yeah.
they're never like elevated. It's like right when you start to like maybe I can get into this character, we drift away from him. There wasn't enough memorable scenes for anybody. I think it took to the very end of the movie to where I finally liked a character, and that was the main character. I was like on the fence about him the entire movie, and then by the end of it, I was like, I guess he was okay. But if that's the best
He was,
I
but
got,
there
like,
was-
the movie
I
is
like
like, damn, dude. Like I only got an okay, an okay character by the end of it. I'm trying to think of another character I like. I also have like a big nitpick
There
about
wasn't
this
any.
movie.
I didn't like any other. I didn't even like him because there was times where he would talk and I couldn't understand a fucking word he's saying.
I swear to
I
God.
said, dude, he
I was
went
like,
through a
"Subtitles,
spiel, and I
please."
was like,
is he speaking another language?
Yeah.
Or is that English? And then sometimes, like, he said something about vegetables one time, and Tyler looked over me. He was like, and I was like, he's saying veggie tables. He still was like, veggie tables?
Yeah.
I'm like, vegetables, bro. He's like, oh.
VeggieTales.
Yeah, it was like, what the fuck? But yeah, there's something else that was like a little nitpick of mine, and this really isn't spoilery. But they like tried so hard, it felt like, to inject emotion that wasn't there. in
Yes.
so many scenes, and they did the classic like, you can't cry, so we'll just put water droplets in your eyes. Literally every other scene, they could have been talking about like, so you think the Saints are going to the Super Bowl, which obviously wouldn't exist here, but this is a hypothetical, and like they'd be staring back at each other with like just water in their eyes, like, yeah, I think they might go to the Super Bowl. It's like, is that even needed here? And it got to a point where like I was counting the scenes, like I was sitting there, I was just like, dog, like, are we gonna, when will a tear drop? They're there, but when will they drop? And that started bothering me too. And then we finally saw a teardrop with a certain character that I can't name. Maybe we can talk about it in spoiler territory, because it might give away something. Maybe not though. Because like I said, everybody was crying the whole movie, or like on the verge of crying.
I
no
thought
matter the
Ronnie was crying
situation.
that one time.
Yeah, he did a loud sniffle.
Yeah,
Like, goddamn,
An
it's
emotional
just the
scene.
COVID. It's back already.
emotional
I
scene
hope not.
happened, and Ronnie sniffles, and I look over, and Brandon told me he was crying. I was like,
I was just giving false information.
I know he
the
was
whole
lying to
movie.
me like the whole movie.
Yeah, don't let the trailers fool you either, because in my opinion, the visual effects are completely
Yeah.
awful in this movie.
I didn't think they were terrible, but this is like where I was at with it. Like with like the big recognizable cast, the set pieces and visuals I think were good. And the thing is, like, they weren't extraordinary CGI, but the set pieces were cool, and some of the visuals were a little shaky, but other ones I thought were nice. Like, for all those things to be combined, I'm like, through the first 40 minutes, I was like, how can a movie with all that feel this lifeless? It's like it tried to do its own thing, but it, at the same time was copying other movies, if that makes sense. Like, it's weird. Like, it almost felt like it tried to do everything else that so many other movies have done, like Knives Out and shit like that, and it felt like authentic when they did it. And this one, it felt like forced. It never felt like organic when they were trying to do their things. It felt like, all right, this is a tidbit from this movie, this is a tidbit from this movie, we can make it work. And it's like they threw a bunch of that in like a bunch of different scenes to where they never fully developed a certain scene or person to where we enjoyed them. It just threw everything from all these great movies into one hat, shook it up, and was like, here's this, here's this, here's this. Whereas the other ones felt natural, this one felt forced because it felt like shit taken from other movies. And also, since it wasn't a natural, cohesive, just like its own thing type of script, or at least didn't feel that way to me, it felt like they never really gained like their just natural flow with anything in the movie. It just never really developed into what it should have. It felt very dry. It felt very lifeless, like unexplainably lifeless for like the first 40 minutes, to the point where I was like, dude, why am I this bored with this? Like, it feels like they're doing something here that has merit, but it is just not clicking at all. So yeah, that's kind of how we feel about that, unless y'all have some other stuff non-spoilery. I mean, do y'all agree with the overall consensus?
Pretty much,
like,
yeah.
that it just was meh for the people that don't want spoilers.
Yeah, we're good. Should we give our ratings in the middle?
And then spoil it?
Yeah, because people, if they don't want to hear the spoilers, they can hear like what we say at
Yeah, I
first,
mean,
and
we
then
can-
get the
we can
ratings.
do
Yeah,
that.
that's kind of what I was got. But I mean, either or. Yeah, ratings.
Let's start
then
with
we-
Tyler. I'm curious.
6-6.
6-6.
Yeah, I didn't think it was terrible. There were some scenes I did like. I liked the guy with the mustache and like his interrogation.
Remember, we're not in spoiler territory. Just in case you somehow forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because we're used to doing this
Oh
at
yeah,
the
when
end.
you did that, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 6.6. So I enjoyed it probably more than some people.
I'm curious your score.
I'm actually gonna give it more than what I thought I,
Jesus.
think it deserves. I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's really higher than I want to give it, but
Wow.
it's Kenneth Branagh. I love Kenneth Branagh. I love the character work. I love him as a director, and there were a couple of things in this movie that were, good enough for,
Oh my gosh.
but for the most part, I'll never watch this movie again.
Never again.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna get it when it comes out.
You
yeah.
can keep the digital.
Yeah.
Is
Are
what
you
he
gonna buy
said.
it? Oh no, yeah.
No, I was honestly for a long time. I'm like towards the end or almost at the end, and even thinking about it for a little bit there, I was like, I might give this movie a 3 out of 10. But the more I thought about it, I was like, at least like I did like the set pieces. I did like the cast, even though they didn't perform well in this movie. It still was kind of cool seeing Russell Brand in something like this. I mean, it wasn't good. I didn't raise my score to some good level, but also like the structure of it in the end, like there was at least something there to where it wasn't like it wasn't, for me 3 is bad. For me, under a 3 is just like, good God, was there anything here redeemable? And then like 1 and 0, if I even ever go to 0, it's just like an abomination. This was a little bit better than just a bad movie to me, so I'm gonna move it up to like a 4.2. There was moments at the end that like raised it from a 3 to a 4. Like the last interrogation scene was pretty good, and there was a few more deaths than I thought they were going to be at the end, so that like made it just a smidge better. But overall, this is a definite like misfire. Like, this is a bad movie, I think. I'm surprised it's got the ratings it does, even though they were kind of like mixed on Rotten Tomatoes. I figured they would have picked this apart, kind of.
See, and I don't know where you all are at with it, but I actually enjoyed the Murder on the Orient Express, the first movie, because this is a sequel to that, and I thought
I
this
didn't
had
realize this was even a
huge
sequel.
chances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You've seen Murder on the Orient, haven't you? Yeah, no, absolutely, sweet. Yeah,
That means bits and pieces. Yes and no.
I don't know. It's just had so much potential. I thought it was going to be better.
Yeah.
But spoiler wise,
Spoilers. Cover your ears or restart this video and watch it again.
Do we have spoilers? No. Yeah, who the killers and shit were. I actually called this
Yeah, you did.
I leaned
I
over to
called
Tyler.
half.
Yeah. I leaned over to Tyler and like it made so much sense to me out of nowhere, dude. Like as soon as like the shit broke down with like the main I don't even remember their names. They were not memorable characters. I don't remember their
Just
names.
say Gal Gadot and
Yeah, but Gal Gadot, who's the guy that's dating Gal Gadot? Basically, the husband of
husband.
Gal Gadot, and Gal Gadot stole, for the people who don't care about spoilers, she stole, like, I guess her friend's fucking husband, and now her friend's, like, off the fucking chain, like, and they're worried that, you know, the main detective guy's thinking he's gonna fucking kill them, and they're also thinking that, and she ends up on the boat, so it's like, that's too obvious, right? So it's definitely not her. I'm thinking that. But then I'm trying to piece together, and originally I was like the detective, because I think that beginning storyline has to come back in some way other than like this is just to show why he has a mustache. So like that's infuriating. Like why? That literally is what basically it amounted to. Like why?
the opening was for his mustache.
Basically,
that's so
like
stupid.
that's the dumbest fucking thing ever. Never again. I'm just gonna keep coming back to that song. But as soon as they had this moment where like he just was like just over the top, like they were like scared of her in a way, but then he just started snapping, just like that's right. Let's rub this interface a little more. It's like I'm done with sympathy. He's like I never even loved you. And then while I saw that going on, something clicked in me. I was like, dude, they might have planned this out from the beginning. I was like, watch her like shoot him in the leg or something. Shoot him in the leg with the gun that we knew she had, and she shot him in the leg. I was like, dog, they're definitely doing this. And then everybody's going to be focused on him. He's no longer a threat because he's just shot in the leg. Like he's just been shot in the leg, so he's gonna be in the other room. They're gonna be focused on her. He's the least expected person, and they just come up with a master plan. Like while she's being, you know, like she didn't leave, did she? All the focus is on her. He's gonna come out. He's gonna fucking do the deed that he needs to do from that point on, and then he's unexpected, and then also she's unexpected because now she's got an alibi of like she never left this room. They were all fucking in on it from the jump. I was like, this is definitely what's going to fucking happen.
Yeah,
And it happened. Like, I leaned over to Tyler and told him, like, right. And then literally, like, a couple scenes later, they even brought him up. It's like, well, he's in the alibi. And I was like, yeah, dude.
Like, the main person you would think has the most motive to do it
is the
turns
one who does
out
it.
to be the one that does
That's what pisses me off the most.
Well, that's what they tried to get you with, though, is the thing is like, it wasn't just terrible. I will give it this, and it's bad on my end because I saw it coming that the husband was in on it too. But the thing is like if it was just like, oh, it was the obvious person the whole time, they made it apparent that like it wasn't her unless she had an accomplice. And since I saw that you know was like, fuck, damn, this kind of sucks, but it's also cool I guessed it, and it was hidden decent enough. But it wasn't like a flat out, I'll give it that, where it's like, oh my God, it's her the whole time. They at least made it, like if you thought it was her and you didn't realize there was an accomplice, you'd be like, there's no way it is her. And then it circles all the way back around to her. So it did at least have that going for it.
My mind changed every scene. Like it does in like Knives Out.
Tyler
like,
kept leaning over
I was
me.
like, it's this person. It's
Yeah.
this
Knives
person.
Out does it the right way.
Tyler, like 7 picks ago, is like, I told you it was them. I was like, you've named every person.
I named almost every character.
Yeah, it's like, there's no way you can
I
lose here.
thought my final guess was like it's the guy whose mom won't give him permission to date or to marry that girl, and in that girl,
Book.
I thought it was
His name was Book.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
yeah.
I leaned over to Brandon. I was like, I think it's Book and that girl, and then not 2 minutes goes by, he gets shot in the neck. I was like,
Well called.
Yeah, and he immediately was like, I don't know then. I was like, my shit's still in play, dog.
Yeah.
That's literally
Yeah,
what
I called her off rip. Like as soon as like they gave us that story of how like Gal Gadot stole him from her.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so she's gonna be the killer.
But
For
it's
sure.
too easy.
But that's the thing is like I was hoping no, but that was gonna be my guess. I was sticking with
it
it.
had to be an accomplice. That's
And I
what told
thought
me that.
about him because he gave Gal Gadot that look whenever she was signing that paper for the money situation.
Yeah.
And he gave her a look when she wouldn't sign it, and I was like, ooh, it's him. But then when he got shot, I was like, oh, well, that's not him, because they did a Scream thing in this movie where there's two of them, and then he's shot, and if you're thinking it's him, and then you see this smaller person running with the hood on, because you could tell that was a female. You could tell that.
I thought as soon as I saw that, I was like,
yeah,
there
you knew
it
it
is.
was.
And I was always, and when that scene happened, I was like, it's obviously not the old ladies. Like, they can't move like that.
I wanted it to be the godmother. I wanted the killer to be the godmother. I think she had a lot of motive because she thought she was taking her son from her, and then she didn't like her wealth, and she didn't like her this and that. But you know, she had motive too. But still, it's just the cliche, like, you know, the husband come through and he wants to marry you and yada yada and take your money, and you know,
like it's a basic plot. Like, okay, we'll have this guy have a girlfriend, they break up, and he woos this rich girl to try to get her money, and then kills her, and like
it's lazy.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And Armie Hammer's the one who's the boyfriend in it, and he's the one going through that cannibalism shit right now in real life.
I forgot that was Armie Hammer. I'm tripping.
That was him in the movie?
He was the boyfriend, the husband, the killer.
That's that guy? Yeah,
he's the one. Yeah, he supposedly was like trying to like bite women and like eat their flesh and cut them. And
hey, we all have things we... No.
That's another reason I knew he was the killer. Is he's a sick bastard in real life as well.
So yeah, that's really all I got to say about it. I didn't
do ratings?
care for it.
I did that.
All right, we have completely different ratings this time. Like, here's the real ratings. You forget
that
everything.
Shot of the Sphinx puts it up to a 9.5.
I did like the way the Sphinx looked.